At Hughes Network Systems, we make it our business to help your business by optimizing the networks that help you achieve your organization's goals. Behind every Hughes solution, you'll find decades of enterprise networking experience, hundreds of patents, and thousands of employees. Throughout our facilities, you'll find employees with a passion for innovation who are dedicated to helping solve networking challenges that will unlock the connected future for your business. Such as in our Network Operations Center, the state-of-the-art nerve center of Hughes. Staffed around the clock, 365 days a year, and fully redundant outside of our headquarters, the Hughes NOC manages the most complex networks, down to the smallest detail, with artificial intelligence and machine learning features that help our engineers automatically anticipate and preempt network anomalies. Close by is our Security Operations Center, also fully redundant to maintain continuity no matter what. Our SOC evaluates megabytes of event logs each day for every site we support, identifying critical events that can cause security concerns and passing them on for mitigation. At the Hughes manufacturing facility outside of Washington, D.C., we produce tens of thousands of routers a month, plus the gateways and modems that power networks in over 100 countries. Having manufactured millions of devices right here in our own facility, we continue to innovate the technologies that enable better performing, more efficient network deployments for our customers. And behind every network implementation for our customers is 24/7 support from our program management team. Combined into one seamless customer-focused function, your program manager leads an elite team of service, support, and project management professionals and engineers. Their sole focus is to manage your network from inception to design to deployment, ongoing management, upgrades, updates, and expansions. But we don't do it all ourselves here at Hughes. We're proud of our relationships with more than 300 carriers, plus installers and field service technicians in every region where we operate, who work together with us to connect the multi-transport solutions that power our customers' networks. As a managed service provider, we bring it all together for our customers. The single point of contact to design, implement, secure, monitor, optimize, and grow your network across all of your locations. At Hughes, we do whatever it takes to go the extra mile for our customers.
Good morning, everyone. Firstly, welcome to this to the webinar today, held by Hughes Network Systems and VMware. So we thought for the next 40 minutes, you're going to hear from the three of us on this that you're seeing at the moment. So we thought it'd be a good idea to do some quick introductions. So ladies first, of course. I'll hand over to Arzu from VMware to introduce herself. Then we'll go to Mark and then myself.
Thank you, Barrett. And good morning, everyone. Thanks for taking the time and for joining us today. We hope you've had the chance to get your coffees and teas sorted out. My name is Arzu Hajieva, and I'm part of the VMware SASE and SD-WAN telco team and do work very closely with Hughes. And today we're going to be talking about how SASE can address some of the challenges you may be facing today. So welcome.
Thank you, Arzu. And thank you all for joining us. My name is Mark Farish. I'm the head of marketing and product development here at Hughes Europe.
And finally, me, Barrett Chauhan. I head up new business development at Hughes. So it's really excited about this webinar today. I'm hoping that after this, we're going to be having some really great conversations. So so welcome to the webinar. Did Barani want to introduce himself, or is he? Barani, do you want to just say hello and introduce yourself?
Hey, good morning, everybody. Barani, I'm coming from VMware. I'm the technical specialist for the SD-WAN and the SASE product and solutions. So it's a good opportunity to meet you all over there.
Great. Thank you.
To make sure that you know that Barney will be helping us throughout the Q&A session today. So please feel free to ask any of the questions at any time in the session. We want to make it as interactive as possible. So we want to make sure that you leave the session and well informed.
Great. So you'll be pleased to know it's not death by PowerPoint. We have got a few slides, but clearly, what today is really about is to bring SASE to life for some of you who haven't considered it or thinking about it, not quite sure what it is, but also to bring to life what Hughes and VMware can do around SASE. So we're going to kick off shortly with a little bit about some, if you like, some backdrop in terms of why we're doing this webinar, a little bit about Hughes, and then we're going to move to our partners, VMware, who go into the more really sexy stuff around what SASE actually is, etc. So we'll kick off the presentation now. So hopefully you can all see the slides. Now, people are asking us, what's SASE about? Why this webinar? We at Hughes Network Systems for the last 30 years, we've been managing the networks of some of the biggest retailers in this country and across the world. And we've been working with our customers to evolve them, if you like, through the sort of the maze of networking technology as it's evolved over the last few years. Now, one of the things that we've seen over the last 3 or 4 years, of course, is that we've seen the migration from legacy architectures such as data centers with a much more focus on moving people into the cloud. So we've seen this strong migration into the cloud. And of course, over the last 3 or 4 years, we've seen the proliferation of more and more customers moving from legacy networks like MPLS to SD-WAN. And we've been at Hughes Network Systems, we've been supporting our customers through that journey. Now, of course, moving to the cloud has brought some other challenges, and there's other things that people are now considering. For example, security. Security is sort of front and foremost and front and center of pretty much everyone's mind. CIOs at the moment, it's the one thing that's keeping them awake at night. So security has become now part of that conversation around what customers are planning to do around the networks. And this is where more and more of our customers have recently started to talk to us about SASE. Secure Access Service Edge, for those of you who don't know what it stands for. Now, SASE is something that, is now becoming, Gartner have talked about it quite a bit recently in their Magic Quadrant. It's something more and more customers are considering as part of their networking strategies. So what we wanted to do today was really just to share with you how, if you're considering SASE, or it's maybe now or maybe in the medium or long term, it's really want to share to you today with what Hughes Network Systems, alongside our partners, VMware, can actually do for you around SASE. Right, so before we do that, what I'd really like to do is just to share a couple of slides about Hughes. So for those of you who haven't heard of Hughes, we've been going for 50 years as a company. We're part of a worldwide group, turning over over $2 billion. Now, we've been doing this stuff for a long, long time and managing customers' networks for a long, long time. And as you can see from the slide, I'm not going to read everything out there, but we've got over 400,000 businesses and government sites under our network management right now, and it's been looked after by over 2,000 people globally. There's 7 million devices out there that we're looking after in over 100 countries. And we cover all continents. So that one of the things that Hughes represents is that we are a multinational organization, and we can provide services across borders wherever our customers need us to be. You'll see there, because of a particular customer, we do nearly 5 billion transactions annually just in Europe. So we're enabling people to pay for their petrol, buy some cosmetics, buy the latest fashions, and also buy their lottery tickets, right? So we're enabling those sort of things right now across our customers. And as I said, we've been doing it for a long time, 50 years in total. Now, as I said earlier, we've been looking after evolving our customers over a number of years, and one of the things that we've supported our customers through is the whole movement to SD-WAN. And as you can see, and we've got a lot of customers out there on SD-WAN, and we class ourselves as a leader in SD-WAN. And as you'll see there, we've got nearly 50,000 sites on SD-WAN to date in over 30 countries. And one of our customers, a well-known petrol organization, they've got nearly 5,000 plus sites with us on SD-WAN. So, so as I said, we've got some very well-heeled customers. We're Body Shop, we run the National Lottery for Camelot, we run the BP and Shell forecourt networks across Europe. Recently, we brought on the Australian retailer Lavisa. So we're working with customers who are right now looking to deliver a network service which is delivering on their strategies, whether it's growth, customer experience, etc. So we're working closely with our customers. Now, been doing this for a long time. We think we're pretty good, but actually there's other people who also think we're pretty good, and Gartner being one of them. So you like to say that for the last 3 years we are on the Gartner Magic Quadrant for Managed Network Services. So we're going toe to toe with some quite large organizations, as you can see. But we've also had recognition from people like Frost & Sullivan, and we've been on the leaderboard for SD-WAN for Frost & Sullivan for over 5 years now. And more recently, we're named on the leaderboard for the global provider carrier for SD-WAN. So it's not just about us saying that we're pretty good at stuff. There's lots of other customers out there. Lots of other organizations out there who are saying equally nice things about us. So we've got some of our customers have been with us for 10, 15 years, right? And what's the reason for that? It comes back to we have a very simple methodology at Hughes that allows us to provide this fantastic end-to-end managed service for our customers. It's a methodology which we call internally, PRISM. Now, that's because we start from the beginning. We start in the right place right at the beginning, which is when a customer is looking at their new network, we will work with them on a consultative basis. So we will look at, how do we migrate your legacy stuff to the new world? So by that, we will ensure that we've got our technical architects are working with you around what you currently have. What is it that you actually want to deliver? We'll look at the things like the high-level design, the low-level design. But what we will do is ensure that whatever the design is, it's fit for purpose, and will deliver what it is that your business needs to deliver across that network. Secondly, we will ensure that we provide all the components to that service, to that design. Now, one of the things we're really proud of is around network connectivity. We have everything in our kit bag in terms of network connectivity. We have the terrestrial services that are readily available across Europe. We have LTE, 5G, but we also have satellite, and which is pretty unique to an MSP in this market. Now, satellite is something we're proud of because we actually came from the satellite world. So satellite is something that's kind of part of our DNA. But the main piece here is that for our customers, it doesn't matter where they are, we can provide connectivity. And then we can provide the management wrap through that. And that's when we're working with our friends at people like VMware to help us support us in terms of the devices that customers have at their endpoints. So we will procure all of that, and we'll provide that as part of our managed service. And that will actually sweep into the LAN arena as well. Now, one of the things that customers always have a big concern about, and rightly so, is great, design's right, we're going with Hughes. The big concern they always have, big worries around implementation. Well, no need to worry. We have a team of fantastic project managers who are all Prince 2 accredited, who will take our customers through the whole migration in a planned, in a way that we ensure that there's clear communication at every stage to make sure that you have the best joining experience with Hughes. That then is followed by support, of course, right? So we bought it. Now, how are you going to support us? We have an experienced team who will look after you 24/7, 365. So these guys have been doing this for our customers for many, many years. And the reason we can provide great service is because we have feet on the ground across all our territories. So whatever the SLA that you agree with us, we can get stuff fixed. So whether it's 4 hours, next day, we have the feet on the ground to ensure that when there is a problem, we'll get you up and running PDQ. And finally, of course, this is kind of what we're all about as an MSP. So we manage the whole service. This is so that you can focus on your core business, right? We will make sure that we're looking after your network. We're monitoring the network. We'll be looking to see where there's faults. Yeah, we have clear, robust incident management and problem management processes and escalation paths within the business. This all ensures that at all points, our customers are getting the best experience. And this is all wrapped around a service delivery manager who will be working alongside you through the life of the contract. So they will be working with you to make sure that we're achieving our SLAs. If there are issues and concerns, these guys will pick it up. So that's kind of a whistle-stop tour of Hughes. Now, we've been recognized by Gartner. Equally, our partners today, VMware, have also been recognized by Gartner. So at this point, I'm now going to hand you over to Arzu from VMware.
Thank you, Barrett. That's been really informative, to be honest, and I'm sure you will be in great hands, very competent hands of Hughes Europe. And well, I'm just going to thank you for joining once again, and good morning, good day, and good evening, depending on where you're logging from. So the game plan for the next 20-25 minutes is for me to provide you with an overview of what's the base of Hughes SASE services. It's based on VMware SASE solution. And a VMware SASE solution is a cloud-native, cloud-delivered networking and security solution that should provide you with specific tools that are extremely relevant when it comes to the recent shift in the working environment. But prior to discussing any of that, let's just have a quick look at the very typical legacy network infrastructure scenario. I'm sure you're probably very familiar with this and you've seen it many times, but the way it's been up until today is everything is concentrated in the data center, and all the traffic route is routed from the data center to the data center for processing. And well, it results in slow performance and low performance, as well as higher cost. And then when it comes to the remote users, and we know that our users are becoming more and more remote or working on the go, and in order to connect, they need to use legacy VPN concentrators, and their traffic also has to herp into the data center that also relies in a very clunky access and same low performance. But let's take a look at the actual web application. So we know that obviously the legacy architecture is designed for the applications to reside in data centers. But now when applications are moving out from the data centers, IT has very poor visibility and control over it. And we know that the current scenario is that some of the applications are moving away and moving into SaaS locations. Then we have another set of applications that are being moved to private and public cloud, to infrastructures like AWS and Azure, but we still have a portion of applications that still will reside in the traditional on-prem data centers or intranets. So we see a very distributed, or let's say scattered way of applications and how they are being spread everywhere. So many organizations that we speak to, and many companies of our clients that we talk to, do consider that they are on a cloud transformation journey, and that is mainly dictated by those two trends that we've just discussed. One, applications moving everywhere and resources moving away from the data center, and the number two is employees moving away from the traditional working environment in the office and moving, let's say, into more of a hybrid working mode. And it's an interesting fact that Gartner predicts that, let's say, by 2024, which is the next year, not that far away, 30% of all the employees globally will be working remotely. When we look at it, it's almost 1/3, and it's a huge increase compared to what we, for instance, had several years ago. What the result that it leads to, for instance, for companies like yourselves, is complexity in terms of managing the access. Optimizing the network performance is always a pain. How do you actually secure all of these distributed infrastructures? That is literally across different cloud infrastructures in the data centers. And if you look at the tools that you have today, that you can potentially use to manage all of that, that paints as a very different picture. So let's say you potentially rely on multiple tools. It results in fragmented visibility or poor visibility, lack of control, higher, let's say, management overhead, and eventually higher cost. So it all results obviously in operational complexity and comes down to higher cost. So that is the reason why we're all here today, because many companies like yourselves are looking for a better or a different way of consuming and deploying the security and network services. So this new way of deploying networking security services and addressing some of those challenges that we've just mentioned is what SASE approach is all about. And SASE is a Secure Access Service Edge. What it stands for is a new concept and the vision that enables you to scale, to be more flexible around the new way of working and managing the distributed architectures and applications, to be more secure, maximize the security, but also simplify all of these operations. It does combine network security functions and WAN capabilities. I want to emphasize the fact that it has the SD-WAN at its core. And the reason we are mentioning it today is because since the actual announcement of this new concept by Gartner, there's been lots of discussion about the terminology and what SASE stands for. We had different vendors, let's say, interpreting it more as a security service rather than a combination of SD-WAN and security. But just to clarify, SASE is the combination of SD-WAN. So you do still have the core WAN capabilities and how you optimize your network performance as the base of the SASE, and that is obviously paired with the SSE and security functionality. And when you talk about purely security functionality, thereafter obviously the original announcement of SASE, the new terminology was released about 2 years ago, and it refers to SSE, which is just the security capabilities without the SD-WAN. A full SASE will have both, and this is what we can offer today. So VMware SASE is a full SASE solution. It delivers secure and optimal access to applications in the cloud, regardless of where the location is of your users or of your application. So we offer application prioritization at the edge, alongside many other features like link mitigation, and we make sure that you actually have the best application performance. We have further, obviously, features within our SASE solution, things like ENI. We don't talk about this that much, but Edge Network Intelligence is part of our SD-WAN and SASE solution and provides you with the app-to-user visibility, analytics, self-healing. We have Zero Trust at the core and the basis of our SASE solution. We apply it through, let's say, secure access when it comes to securely connecting your remote users to the applications, or let's say SD-WAN client, which is the newer addition within our SASE portfolio. We provide security for your users that are accessing internet or SaaS applications, let's say, or working remotely. Cloud Web Security is a combination of a CASB and secure web gateway solution, protects your organization, obviously, from attacks that are very inherent to the internet, and also helps you manage the activities within your SaaS applications. We can say that we address several use cases, and those are the use cases where you can actually take advantage of a SASE solution. Work from everywhere, and this is probably one of the main use cases that is a way SASE is very applicable. Enterprises are of any size. It can be enterprise, mid-enterprise, or small businesses are looking for flexible remote access solutions that allows their users to have good application performance and work from anywhere. So we can address it with SD-WAN client. Potentially that provides enterprise IT with an easy and secure way to connect your users and your external users, not to mention so the BYODs, and also optimize the connectivity for the speedy and reliable connectivity. Cloud adoption. Obviously, we've discussed the cloud adoption resources moving out to the cloud, whether that's private, public, cloud, or SaaS. And the fact that we leverage our cloud architecture based on the over 200 POPs or points of presence allows us to provide you with enhanced application performance and reliable, quick, secure access to those applications and resources that reside within the cloud. Governance and compliance is another another use case we address with SASE, with things like DLP, potentially with the Zero Trust access, because ZTNA or Zero Trust is pretty much not trusting anyone within or outside the organization unless their identity has been verified. So VMware SASE incorporates zero trust principles at all levels and within all solutions. And obviously it reduces the breach and compliance risks when it comes to your users accessing SaaS applications and the internet, and security visibility with things like, for instance, shadow IT, and providing you with better tools to control the activity within those SaaS applications. We mentioned the Gartner. Obviously, Barrett has kindly reminded us that we have been indeed 5 years in a row consecutive leader for our SD-WAN capabilities within the Gartner Magic Quadrant, and because we've been recognized as a leader for completeness of the vision and the ability to execute. So we're proudly sharing this with you today. Further highlights of the solution were things like solid product that we have consecutively delivered on the top premium SD-WAN products and ability to scale compared to other vendors in the market. The innovation, obviously, it's all about the roadmap and how we can meet the ever-changing and demanding requirements of our customers, and also how we are actually probably one of the closest solution to providing you with single vendor SASE, and that is including mature SD-WAN capabilities and very comprehensive security capabilities. Strong market understanding, and here we're referring to self-awareness, how we see ourselves in the market, how we understand, how we compare ourselves to competitors, and also how relationships we have with our customers. So this is obviously available publicly, and feel free to find the report and read through it. If not, you can obviously request it through us or through your Hughes team, and I'm sure you will find lots of interesting information in that report. But why is our approach so unique? So the uniqueness of the VMware approach is in one thing. So we were born in the cloud. So we're not trying to convert hardware infrastructures into something to make it a cloud infrastructure. SASE needs to be truly cloud-based solution. VMware has leveraged the existing cloud infrastructure to build the SASE and SD-WAN upon that. And that is reflected in those 150, almost 200 global points of presence that we have. Those points of presence are strategically distributed around the world, and they serve as an on-ramp to those SaaS services and other cloud services. We call them gateways, and also we have some partnerships with partner gateways. So the SASE gateway is a multi-tenant gateway service and policy control, and it provides you with a superior application access performance. So this is why it's important. This is why your users won't be complaining when they need to access their Zoom application, or where they need to have this business critical application and at any time available to them, and you'll have that access using our SD-WAN and SASE solution. And the gateway will also optimize the traffic. It provides you with further capabilities like traffic steering over multiple links. And we have actually backbone integration with some of those hyperscalers, and we provide like a bridge. Let's say we bring traffic closer to its location in the SaaS or IaaS or let's say UCaaS potentially. So it doesn't matter if it's in a SaaS location or in a public-private cloud. Another key differentiator, and this is the unique feature of VMware SASE and SD-WAN solution, is DMPO. We call it. This is a dynamic multipath optimization. We call it a secret sauce that allows applications to perform better over any transport. What it does, it pretty much helps you solve some of the issues with jitter, packet loss, bandwidth congestion over a single link, but also helps you prioritize the business critical traffic. So imagine you have a site and you have different sources of traffic. Some of it is business critical, as we mentioned earlier. It has to always have the priority and easy, reliable, and stable access. But at the same time, you have other source of traffic, which is more of a personal use of the users. They're shopping online, they're accessing LinkedIn. But you can set the business policies in the way that the traffic that you need, which is business critical, will be prioritized. So we offer features, for instance, like if you're running on multiple links on your WAN, we'll select up to 2 best performing links at any time, and that is called the forward error correction. So generally, we provide you optimal optimization of the last mile connectivity. So obviously this is something that is quite unique. And the great news is that we don't only apply DMPO for cloud delivered or cloud hosted applications, but you can also reach out using DMPO to the applications that reside on-prem in your data centers, which is probably the case for many companies still. So we've spoken about various features here. We've mentioned how we connect the branches using our SD-WAN, where we've spoken about the zero trust. Now is the time to discuss, let's say, how do you connect your remote users? So SD-WAN client is the newest addition, let's say, within our SASE portfolio. The reason why this solution is very relevant is because most of the companies do need to have a solution that enables them to connect their remote users or users who are on the road in a way that is flexible and does not actually require a hardware appliance. So traditional VPN-based remote access is becoming less viable, let's say, for modern distributed enterprises. It is very difficult to scale, and also the fact that it is reliant on the hardware for the termination point, which is also can be a choke point, and it reduces it doesn't allow you to scale, and especially when we're talking about the 30% of the remote users worldwide that Gartner, let's say, forecasts in the upcoming years. Obviously, there will be issues with latency, and you will see lots of frustrated remote workers that are just not able to connect properly using the VPN. So this is something we solve with SD-WAN client. We provide you with an easy and secure replacement for the VPN, but not only is it a secure way to connect, it is also a way to optimize your connectivity. So beyond just the productivity, we provide your IT with visibility, with analytics and troubleshooting when it comes to, you can also apply the ENI, which is the Edge Network Intelligence. So you can have similar performance, or let's say optimization of the traffic from any device in a similar way that you would use, let's say, from a branch location. And let me tell you the great news that SD-WAN client can be used and can connect any device and any operating system. That can be an iOS, an Android, a Windows, a Mac. It can be a Linux server. So lots of flexibility here. But we mentioned zero trust, and we mentioned how security is extremely important when it comes to SASE. So the way you provide your access. So let's just talk about how we would do it within VPN. And we're not only referring to the use case of the remote users who are corporate users, but what about all these users who bring their own devices? What about your third party? What about your contractors, associates, in terms, let's say, people who don't work for the company and don't have a corporate device? Traditionally, you would need to provide them the full access using the VPN, and that would mean that it's not secure enough, because you're actually enabling a full access to all of your resources, because you can't segment the access when you're using the VPN. You log in once, and here you go, all the access to the data center resource is there for you. But using the SD-WAN client, you can actually provide private access for users that are not corporate users, so for BYOD, so private network connections for business partners or for suppliers, and you can manage it and scale it up or down as you deem appropriate. And all of this is based on zero trust. So you won't compromise the network for all of your resources, and you will only enable them to see the segments and part of the network that they need to see, let's put it that way. So there's lots of control over the access that is extremely relevant. But also, obviously, there's another use case that this caters for, is the fact that you connect the IoT devices, and it also enables the server-to-server communication by using the SD-WAN client. But all in all, just to summarize, this is a great, and there's a less expensive, let's say, way to replace your VPN. More scalability, more visibility and control for your IT team, and less headache overall. It's very easy to set up. It's very easy to deploy. It does not require, again, any hardware installation. But ultimately, it also does not require the full SD-WAN architecture. So you don't need to deploy SD-WAN to be able to deploy a software client. So you can actually just run the client and connect your remote users without deploying the SD-WAN architecture or all of it today. So this is, I think it's lots of flexibility here for you. We spoke about the connectivity. Now, how do we secure our users and our applications when they are accessing internet, when they are breaking out into Skype and Office 365? How do we control this type of access? And we know that the rapid rate of adopting these web applications is probably a nightmare for IT. They would struggle with having the visibility and all those risks of advanced threats, of advanced malware, and of potential downloads coming from let's say from the internet. Is a massive concern. But how do you tighten your security posture and improve your productivity? CWS obviously is a cloud web gateway security solution that helps you solve those challenges. So with CWS, with your IT will have control over, for instance, who can and cannot access specific websites based on the URL filtering feature. So you can protect against things like malware, phishing websites, if you find specific sites inappropriate, or if you just don't want your users to access it because it's a gambling website, let's say. You can protect your users against viruses that might be coming from a document, and that can be an attachment in an email, or it can be a web download. Probably the two main attack vectors, to be honest, that we see when it comes to just generally cybersecurity. But sandbox is a zero-day sandbox. That means that we will prevent all the known and unknown attacks. So attacks that don't have any reputation on any signature, will be able to block it. And we also have the anti-malware engine that obviously filters all the attacks based on their signatures. We provide you with a full visibility into what's happening within your access, within your SaaS applications with our CASB solution. So CASB, obviously, is very popular. Cloud Access Security Broker enables your IT to decide what sanctions, so what actions can be taken within a SaaS application. Can your, let's say, employees log in and upload or download files into Dropbox? Or can your contractors, for instance, access and attach files into Dropbox or not? So there's lots of control that, and not just visibility, but also control that is provided to you. Sensitive data is another big concern. So how do we make sure that the data doesn't leave your organization? With something called DLP, or data loss prevention, which is also part of our CWS solution. We'll make sure that no sensitive data, which can be your financial property, your intellectual property, does not leave the organization. And SSL traffic decryption, we know that majority of web application traffic is SSL encrypted, so we will decrypt the traffic in order to inspect the content of it. Last but not least, and I think we don't talk about this enough, to be honest, but it's like a hidden gem within our solution, is the ENI, which is the Edge Network Intelligence. We briefly mentioned it on one of the first slides, but ENI helps answer questions like, mobile users are having issues with their Zoom applications. Is it happening because of their local Wi-Fi or broadband connectivity or VPN connectivity, or is it the actual application that is not performing? So it provides you with so much analytics, and also helps you troubleshoot. So what we do with the Edge Network Intelligence, we use it's an AI ops solution within our VMware SASE that normally comes alongside our SD-WAN solution. We collect the data about the user experience from multiple sources. We use sources like wireless, wired LAN, like client applications and applications as well. So we will then measure this performance and use this data to analyze and establish the baseline for the user's performance. So what's the norm? And then any deviation from that norm, you will be alerted, or your ops team will be alerted with certain recommendations. So what you need to do to actually remediate the problem. I personally believe it's a great solution to have. And this is all part of our VMware SASE solution. So obviously, I think we've just provided a very high-level overview of what VMware SASE stands for and represents. And I'm sure we all probably would agree that this would be very difficult to do it on your own. It's not just a lack of resource. It's not just many other projects that also have the priority, but it's generally just to have somebody who has the know-how of dealing with a solution. It is important. How do you migrate? Where do you even start? How do you analyze what you need and don't need to do? Do you actually need to migrate fully from PMPLS? Can you leave some of the lines on and potentially do it gradually? And how you don't have to just rip and replace all your existing infrastructure to deploy SASE. You are, I think, this is what obviously Hughes Europe are very good at. They're good at helping you understand what are those small and gradual steps that need to be taken towards your SASE vision and how your organization will benefit from this SASE. We provide the technology, Hughes will provide everything else. And at this point, I think I've spoken enough. I hope you're not bored of me talking. I would like to invite Barrett to maybe add a little bit more to this final slide before we wrap up. And thank you for listening.
Thank you, Arzu. That was great. Yeah, so I mean, just really in conclusion, you see the fantastic stuff that Arzu's just gone through. At Hughes, we will bring all this together and bring it to life through a fully managed service from us. So that essentially allows you to get on with your core business while we take care of the network for you. So hopefully you've had a pretty extensive overview of SASE there from Arzu. Now I think we're coming to the conclusion for this presentation. I'm going to hand over to Mark just to summarize, but for me, I hope you've got something out of this. We're really excited about the whole SASE piece, working with VMware, and we certainly will be reaching out to each and every one of you to hopefully get some engagement going. But I'll hand over to Mark at this point.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you, Arzu and Barrett, for a great presentation. It was a pleasure to have you on with us. So as Barrett said, this concludes the Hughes Europe and VMware SASE webinar. Thank you all for attending. We hope you've learned from and enjoyed this presentation. Now, if you're interested in a free SASE assessment by one of our highly trained technical specialists as it relates to your network, please reach out to me, Mark Farish, via the contact information on your screen to schedule an appointment. This information will also be contained in a thank you email that will be sent to you all post this webinar. But if you still have some questions left, please post them. We will either reply to them during this, and if not, we will send you a response via email. So with that said, thank you again. Thank you for joining us, and have a SASE day.